Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Thursday night, once again, the Don Miller Show. I call it Drinking and Judging Podcast. My good friend, Real Rap Kane.
Don, what's up?
Let me just say this. Also, shout out to the podcast Dr. Phil. Hey. Man, I'm so excited to be here in the studio again. Listen, do me a favor. Share the show. Subscribe and like. Please share, like, and subscribe. It's very important to us. And we thank you so much for supporting us. Please, it's very important. Also, go click on Real Rap Kane at YouTube. Jay has some really insightful talks.
And Instagram.
And as well as on Instagram. Jay has some really insightful 12-minute talks, and it can come to you at a point in your day where you need to hear some of the things he's saying. So please check it out at Real Rap Kane. So today's conversation, first of all, I want to say to the lady a little while ago who asked me, was I going to take a moment of silence because Queen Elizabeth passed away today at the age of, 96?
96.
And Queen Elizabeth passed away at the age of 96 today. So, of course, it's always sad to see someone go or some historic figure. But I don't know if it's sad. It's kind of historical when a historic figure dies. Sometimes it ain't sad because I am not sad. I'm not sad today. I'm not sad that Queen Elizabeth is
she lived a life.
Dying. And if she didn't live the life, it's hard for me to be sad over the colonizer. Okay? Let's be clear, man. I got to hit that, man. That's real talk, man.
I can't say nothing about
the history. And even when her grandchild married a half-brown person,
she was upset.
There was conflict, right? So you guys can take it the way you want to take it. Of course, she lived a great life, a very wealthy, better than us life.
Definitely
right?
privileged.
And so I guess it's sad for some of you people, but the history of this whole monarchy is something I take a lot of. I got challenges with it. You know what I mean? So again, let's move on to the conversation today. Hey, everybody. So again, good conversation today. Oh, I don't know how to take this one. I might say some things. Look, I'm so glad to come on this damn podcast, right? And not have to say the views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of a certain station, right? Everything you hear me say, this is my opinion today. I don't have to apologize from scary-ass radio station owner. Okay, I don't have to apologize for somebody who got a big company with a bunch of stations. Okay, listen, I got one place that I go to, and I don't have to apologize. I want to shout out Shanti, but I've been in them places where you got to apologize. As soon as you get out there, you got to apologize before you even say some wrong shit, right? Yeah. Our views and opinions are not theirs; they're mine. I ain't doing that today. These are my opinions. I'm telling you right now. The great thing about this is, I think there's a need for this kind of conversation.
It is, and it's sensitive though.
Yeah, let me tell you why. So, Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson family of absolutely ridiculous behavior has been riding me. This is the topic of the conversation, right? And it's amazing the differing opinions when you scroll through social media, right? And we live in a cancel culture era. You say the wrong shit, you're going to get canceled. If you're white and you say something that may appear to be race, you're going to get canceled. Yeah. So this is cancel culture, right?
Yeah.
But I want to go back to a conversation, something I just saw from like August of 2014. And Tiffany Haddish, who has went 100 miles an hour to stardom in the last 5 or 6 years, was a struggling comedian at the time.
Yeah.
And she jumped into what I think was supposed to be a comedic skit. And with Aries Spears, who I also, I'm sure Aries was probably doing better than Tiffany at the time because Aries' audience is a different audience, right? But the fact of the matter is they did this skit they thought was going to be funny, where they simulated pedophilia or the thoughts of pedophilia, and they exposed children to this ridiculous ass behavior by these two adults, right? And now there's a lawsuit out there by the mom. She's suing for a number of reasons, and I just want to read a couple of them because I had to write this down because I'm like, what the hell is this? She's suing for gross negligence, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and abuse of a minor, to name a few, right? So this mom is like, these two perverts took advantage of my children at the time. So the media is saying that the mom went to several lawyers over the last several years, and each lawyer turned the case away, right?
Yeah, true.
And
it was 5, I think.
Okay.
Five.
And so they go to these lawyers. The lawyers say, yeah, no case. And finally, the daughter of the mother who is leading the lawsuit, okay, Miss Marshall.
Yeah.
The daughter becomes a lawyer. And the daughter says, I'll sue. I'll take the case. That way you ain't got to go and share our money with everybody else. I must take this case since nobody else thought this was a case. When Tiffany Haddish and Aries did this terrible thing to my little sister and brother, I'll take the case on behalf of my family.
Yeah.
And the mom, who was a struggling ass comedian who couldn't make it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
this is how she came in contact probably with Tiffany Haddish. If you're looking at the screen right now.
Like she having a good time with Tiffany Haddish.
If you're looking at the screen, I'm going somewhere with this, right? So the mom at the time, a struggling comedian. So I guess she's like, okay, Tiffany probably saw her in the club. Hey, can I use your kids? Oh, yeah, you can use my kids, right? So they use these kids, and they create what I think is absolutely horrendous. I watched it, right?
You watched the whole thing?
No, I couldn't watch the whole thing, but I watched it to such an extent, right? Because it's if you could watch, I understand there are people who are going to have to watch the whole thing. That's not knocking you to watch the whole thing, but I couldn't watch the whole thing.
Some people's stomachs are designed differently.
And the point I make is, it is so egregious, you know, when you got a grown man, right, rubbing oil on the back of a little boy or squirting the oil out of the bottle on this child.
I never see that
or
part.
when it gets into the bathtub with the child.
I didn't see that part.
When the child is rubbing oil, it gets to a point where, what are you guys trying to accomplish here, right?
That's the question.
Let me just hold on before I take this call. What are you guys trying to accomplish? Tiffany, which we know has a history of challenges, right? And I don't know much about Aries Spears for the fact that his comedy ain't funny to me, right?
Outside impersonations, voiceovers.
Okay, right. So I'm saying, what the hell was you two buffoons trying to accomplish? What were these two idiots trying to accomplish? And what was the guy with the camera and the guy with the light and the guy with the sound trying to accomplish? Because at some point,
they've seen worse stuff.
No, not with children. At some point, any of these people, but at some point, any of these people with a child should have been like, y'all.
No, I'm tracking. I'm not saying it's okay.
I ain't gonna do this one.
You gotta remember, you probably know a little better than me, but when you get in those Hollywood circles, it gets beyond weird.
Oh, it's absolutely.
It don't even, cameras or not, it gets beyond weird.
Which is where and we're going to go there today on this show, right? So the mother, right?
Yeah.
And I made phone calls today. I called my friends in L.A. I can't say their names, but I'm going to shout out my other friend later on about something she's doing in L.A. And they're all producers, right?
Yeah.
Real producers. And nobody understands what the end goal was going to be.
I mean, ultimately, what's the agenda?
So who was going to see this? And
who's the market?
Yes, right? Who was going to see this and say, that's hilarious, right? Let me just say something. I think, as you said, in a weird place, weird shit happens, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows the underbelly of that industry.
It's weird.
It's weird.
For a better choice of words right now.
It is what it is, right? The underbelly of such industry is weird, right? So
correct.
That's what. Yeah. Is it? That's kind of what they do.
That's normal for them, though. That's kind of normal,
right? Okay. You go all the way back to Roman.
Holly weird.
You go back to Roman Polanski, who fled the country, right? And we never went and got him, right? Let's go to the phone lines. Hey, you on the Don Miller Show?
Don Miller.
Hey, whoa. Hey, man.
This is Holly Holloman. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Holly Holloman? Have you been following this? Have you been following this?
I haven't. I have not really been following. I heard a little bit about it, and I'm kind of getting informed by you right now as to
go watch the video. Go find the video and call us back.
But if I watch the video, is it gonna make me be a culprit? I mean, am I gonna be
No. Can I just say something?
I'm watching.
No. It's not child. They're not calling it child porn, right?
They're calling it
because
comedy.
if it's child porn, all of us who watch it it's going to have problems, right?
Correct.
It's still on YouTube. YouTube has not taken it down, okay? And the police looked into it and found not a case, okay? And several lawyers looked at it and found not, a lawsuit, right? And my question is, who were they making this for? Whose product was this? And more importantly, was the mama in the damn house?
I'm pretty sure she was. He's a minor.
Now that just from what I've heard you talk about, my first question on this was, where was the mama and daddy or guardian while this was going on? There is no way in the world I would let my juvenile children be in a situation like that and I not be there with them. There is no way I would do that. So I'm like, they're putting the responsibility on somebody who we know are not necessarily responsible, but or may have questionable judgment. Yeah. But it's the parents. It's the parents to me more than anything.
And let me just say this. This is really important. I got to say this, right? Because I think people are looking at this confused. Who were they making this for? Right? Let me just keep this. These are the things that are important to me. Who are they making this for? Who was powerful enough to get the cops to look the other way? Okay? Who was powerful enough to make a bunch of lawyers say there's no case, right? Or it just ain't a case. Because in LA, it's always who's more powerful, right? What I saw is borderline illegal. What I saw was some shit, right? What I saw was like, oh, hell. Holly, if you go watch it, man, what I saw, I'm like, okay, you know what? Any parent, if there was another parent in that room, okay, they're part of the problem, right? If the cameraman was a parent, if the guy with the light was a parent, or the guy with the sound was a parent, y'all all terrible parents, right? To sit by and even find a inkling of comedy in this bullshit.
It wasn't even funny.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
Wow.
I'm lost for words on this one, man. I can't. I mean, I watched the PG-13 version, and I can only get through 3 minutes of a 7-minute video. It was that egregious. Like I can't even put it into the proper context to articulate how bad that was.
Right.
I believe the mother definitely was in the building because he's a minor. He's a juvenile at the end of the day. If she wasn't there, she had some understanding of what it was going to be about. She can't lie and say she didn't do that. This was at a time, like you articulated earlier, that Tiffany Haddish was on the come up. She was a struggling comedian at that time. However, you still got to read the script or whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? You still got to have that level of, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for whatever your likeness is a part of.
Right, absolutely. Right? I'm looking at this, right? And then I see a picture.
All right. I think we're good.
Okay, so Tiffany comes out and says that, they've been trying to extort her, right? Aries Spears come out and say the same thing for a while as them trying to extort her. Right. But this is my issue I take with that, is that, to my understanding, and we're not there, we wasn't there, Tiffany, when she seen the final product, she addressed Aries Spears and said, yo, take me up out of that. I don't want no parts of that.
Right.
He pushed it out anyway. It was on his website. So
this is what she's saying. She's saying that she didn't want nothing to do.
She didn't want nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Aries Spears turned around and put this on his website.
Oh, wow.
He put it up on his website after she expressed her displeasure. But then my issue with her is you're not even engaged in fully what you're a part of.
Well, again, right, as you said, who knows how much she was paid to do this, or if she was paid to do it.
She probably wasn't paid at that time.
Or if in that industry.
Because she was sweeping her car around this time. I understand the hardship.
Or even in that industry, maybe they knew somebody who would really enjoy this. That could put them on.
They enjoy it.
There are people in that industry that might enjoy this a lot that can put them on.
They're going to have an all-white party to a movie or to a skit like that.
Absolutely. Listen, feel free to call us 352-717-4071. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, okay, y'all play too damn much, because when I saw it, and I had never seen the uncut. You know, I see
I watched the PG.
I come in the studio tonight, and I'm shown the uncut. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't seen it and you just interested in the story, go see it because, okay, I don't like that whole cancel culture thing, but somebody need to really, y'all need to save Tiffany Haddish from herself. Okay, I know y'all like to see her out there cooning because that's all. Her comedy is absolute cooning, right? Her comedy is cooning. Okay, there's nothing to her comedy. There's nothing to her comedy except for cooning, right? Go look at her. You go give me a deep ass something she said in her stand up routine that made you go right? Her comedy is cooning, right?
Only thing I respect is the hustle. I do respect the hustle.
But again, in that industry, when you get put on, it ain't hustling.
Well, that's true.
Okay? They grab you.
They grab you.
You go through the program and they say, okay, it's your turn now, right? In that industry, you done something.
You compromise yourself somehow. And
at every level, right? So my point is, then she comes out, and I don't know if her lawyer said, hurry up and go do this, or again, somebody who don't understand certain things. She ran to the microphone and apologized, right?
Yeah.
And I hope she understands what your apology.
That's an admission to guilt.
And it's not accepted, okay? Nobody gives a shit about her apology, right? That scene I saw with that grown-ass man in the bathtub with that little boy.
But man, even before you get there,
that's some straight bullshit.
Before you get there.
That's some straight bullshit. Last time I saw that, I think it was Bishop Trotter in Chicago.
We're gonna act like this is a comic book, right? He put eye holes in the paper.
Was funny.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't even laugh about this, Don. I can't even have a jokey joke.
No, I'm talking about Bishop Trotter
I know
in
what
Chicago.
You're doing, but son put holes in the comic book and on some creep ball, like he's staring at the kid through the holes in the comic.
But again, right?
But I'm saying, what part of this, through the creation process, right?
Right.
Through the creation, what part does somebody say, hey, at the final script reading that, yo, this is it, this is what we gonna go with, like this gonna be a winner?
Again, right? I think the mama's a check chaser, okay? And I think Tiffany Haddish, and who cares about Aries? I don't think, I'm not.
He don't care about himself. You see him?
Okay, right. Again, but I just think it's important.
Do you want to see the clip with the eye holes?
Yeah, just let's see the eye hole clip real quick. Watch the screen, everybody. I'm not going to show much of this.
Let me turn the volume off because it's going to.
Much of this nonsense, but this is just, I want y'all to tell me.
Like what part of that is
y'all
funny?
Y'all out here.
He in his drawers.
They out here canceling. Y'all cancel everybody. Anybody say
drawers,
something you don't
man.
like, they cancel. Listen to this. Watch this.
What part of that is funny?
Again.
Maybe I missed it. Maybe my love of humor is not that dark as I thought it was.
I just think that they both should go sit down for a while and make some giant donations.
Well, he's been sitting down. He can't sit down for more.
Right. Yeah, he's terrible. He's horrible. Okay.
He doing stand-up elementary schools. What the hell is he?
Yeah, boy. Let me tell you something. When you with the tribe, they carry you.
You got another call in?
Let me just say this for real, guys. I got an interesting little commentary about this after we take this phone call. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show, drinking and judging with Real Rap Kane.
Hey, this is Holly Howard.
Oh man, here we go.
That disturbed you?
Bruh. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry I took you so long to call you back. I had to take a shower after that because I felt dirty.
You gotta take a shower. You gotta pray.
Yeah.
This is your after hours show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this after hours.
Okay. That
talk
shit
freely.
Was foul.
Huh?
That was foul. That shit was all the way.
It was terrible. It was terrible,
if
man.
Somebody filmed my son like that, I would still be whooping their ass.
Hey, you know, I got a saying. I tell people, play with something safe. That ain't it.
Let me just, again, though, right? I just don't understand. Thank you so much. Bishop McCrae just said that was trash. We all agree. Let me just say this, really. When I watched it, right, I'd heard about it. I tried to watch it. Then I turned it off. Like, I can't watch this shit. Then I tried again to watch it. I was like, I can't watch this shit. Finally, I get in the studio and I watch it. But the one I was watching had things blurred out. Phil's one was not blurred out. Okay?
That's what I saw first.
Okay.
Oh, you seen both of them?
Yeah, I saw the one with blurred out, and I was like going, I'm kind of missing. It doesn't look. It wasn't that bad.
That was malicious. That was crazy.
The other one was the little boy laying on. Man, let me tell you something.
I can't. You ain't got to tell me. Tell Don.
If they can find something wrong with that, that's bull, bro. They can find something wrong with that.
But in an industry where there's nothing wrong with that, how do you find something wrong with that? Let me say it one more time. In an industry where there's nothing wrong with that, how can you find something wrong with that? I tell you, that industry does not look too negatively upon that type of behavior. Go look at the history of it.
Okay. Wait, let me say this. The little boy laying on the floor.
Yeah.
And spreads his legs.
I didn't see that part.
What they call it? Eagle.
Spread
wing,
eagle.
Wing,
Yeah,
eagle.
I watched. I saw it.
Spread.
Uh-huh.
Why, if your parent is there, because you know a parent has
it got to be there. He a minor. Got to be there.
There ain't no way in hell I would know. There is that's bro. That's foul, bro. That's foul. And the thing about it, they ain't get it right on the first page.
No, he spread it open a lot of times.
And let me just say this.
Like, come on, we need to put more of your back.
And he probably started having fun. Like Aries Spears freak ass probably started having fun. Like, no, spread wider.
Let me just say this, right? Let me just say this, right? Let me just say this. I got to say this right here because I bring everything back to something that I care a lot about, right? The church, okay? If y'all let Tiffany bring her ass in y'all church and she don't apologize on the steps of the church, y'all need to check her because guess what? I guarantee you, remember I told y'all this, she's going to show up in somebody's church this weekend, right? And you're getting played, some PR person like myself, Holly, you know that, then ask her to go to a church this weekend, right? She's going to go to a church. The media's going to cover her at such church, and then this will all be over. No, it shouldn't be, right? I think they both should be put in a program, and they should have to stay in this program for a period of time.
What kind of program we talking
like
about?
Just some kind of inpatient, outpatient program.
I think hot wire hanger should go up Aries Spears' asshole. That's what I think. So what kind of program are we talking about?
And I know how you feel because you got babies at home, right?
Ain't no way.
And I'm going to say this, right? This is my problem with the mama because the initial lawsuit asked for $15,000, right? Okay? That's the number I got.
So she need to pay her rent for a couple months.
So
that's what she on her car that just got repossessed.
Oh, that's what it is. She gotta get a car back.
So Trizza Morris, right? This raggedy ass mama, right? So they pimp out your kids like this. That's Trizza on the screen. She was a terrible comedian.
And your kid gotta grow up with this.
She was Trizza was a terrible comedian. She wanted to be a comedian in LA. She kind of bounced around a little bit, 5 or 10 minutes. She's terrible. But let me just say this, right? Very serious. If your mama asked for $15,000
because you got violated,
we need to all do like a search party, go find her, then all whoop her ass, right? Because what is that about? What is that about, man? 15 G's? You know what? Look, ma'am. I don't want to hear from her, nor does the city of Fontana, California, where she sued them in federal court, or some of these other people. I ain't got to get over to that. But the point is, right? I just need somebody to come to the microphone and show some serious. I don't even know if I need that, man. I need Tiffany.
There's nothing they can say that's going to be able to make that right. So you can't ask for something that's not even going to meet the need of, because there's no words. I'm even stuttering. I can't even put it in the proper context.
Yeah.
There is no words that you can use.
Child protective services need to be there is what really need to happen, and go check on the mama because the mama allowed the child to do it.
Oh, ain't no question. Ain't no question. No, there's no question that this mama is not a good parent. And I just want to ask some of them other people in that family, man. Hold on, I'm gonna name some of them so y'all can know where they live. Keontae, right?
Oh.
You know, and Deontay. Okay, it's Keontae, it's Deontay. It's several aunties, right? And what are y'all doing, right? What are y'all doing? Because
not protecting the kids is not one of them.
But okay, Miss Haddish or whatever, and to this dude, y'all should have gave them people some real money. Even if y'all got to go get it out next week. And I know the money ain't going to make a difference, but set it up with the children who were violated. The mama wasn't violated. The children were violated. The mama was part of the problem.
No, but now the kids, this is all over the internet now, right? Mm-hmm. So now the same little boy that was violated on TV, on that camera, right, is in school right now.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to find out who he is.
Why not? What you mean? Don,
nobody knows his name. Don, they don't know his name. I know his name.
He's sitting in class right now. Somebody said, that's your ass.
Right. Well, can I tell you, from what I understand, there's already been some problems. And this is the challenge, right? We got to, as parents, right, do better. Because we know who she is. She's told us. Look, one thing about Tiffany Haddish.
Kid worth $15,000. That's
okay,
what she told us.
Okay, we know who the mom is. She just told us, right? So Tiffany Haddish knew it too.
Tiffany she probably got $500 for that.
Right, Tiffany knew it too.
No, real rap though.
Right.
She probably got $500 for that.
If he gave her anything.
If he gave her anything. But he probably gave her $500.
But he probably could have told her who they was going to give this to, and they was going to have an all-white party and watch it. You hear me, Holly Holloman?
Oh, he's gone.
You hear what I'm saying, man?
No,
there's an industry. There's a market.
No, there's a major
market
for
this.
And
there's a market. If you don't think there's a market for this, then you ain't paying attention at all.
For every Spears to walk around today and act like he's a victim in this, like it was just comedy, it was just creative, it was just art, I'm lost. Maybe my comedic rate meter is off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's off.
Yeah.
Because when you start getting into preying on little children, I'm trying to figure out where's the comedic value at that point.
I don't think there is any, and I think what we saw here, and I want to kind of quietly move in a little bit of another direction, but I need to talk about this. I think what we saw here is an industry in its entirety void of morals, right?
Well, there's no morality in that industry.
Because I'm just kind of figured out whoever Tiffany Haddish had a deal with, right? Watch this, guys. I want y'all to watch this one closely. Whoever she had a deal with that hasn't come forward and canceled the deal understands black folk better than we understand ourselves. Now, let me just say this. I want y'all to hear me on this, okay? Any studio that Tiffany has an upcoming project with, right? And this studio hadn't made a statement or even just gave Tiffany her money and be like, we're going to take a minute from you, right? Not that she can't come back, right?
She on timeout.
Okay? Kind of on timeout. How many times we've seen them put white actors and white entertainers on big money timeout?
They did that. Robert Downey.
Big money timeout is, here, take this money.
Yeah, they done that.
We'll holler at you in a minute, right? And there's nothing wrong with big money timeout, okay?
They're doing that with Will right now.
Okay? My concern is, right? This is my concern, right? When you don't understand big money timeout, right? They know black people don't even care. They know black people don't care. Black people going to go to her next movie in record number, right? So we ain't got to apologize to a certain community or create any program. We already paid her. She going to be right back out there, and black people going to go to her next movie, and they're going to take their children.
That's a fact.
Yes or no?
That's a fact.
So how does that, see, I didn't want to turn this corner. I just wanted to go in a different direction. But black people are going to run to her next movie, and you're going to take your children, right?
Yeah.
She need to go to timeout. She need to go to timeout led by a nation of black people. She need to go to timeout led by a Negro with a microphone or with a position. We need to say, Tiffany, take a minute and get yourself right. Because if that's what you're doing on the backside to grow, then I ain't no telling.
She's doing on her backside to grow. Double entendre.
Right? You follow me? Let's go to the phone lines. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show. Jesus. Hello, you're on the Don Miller Show.
It's me again. I'm sorry.
Why you just ain't come on the show tonight?
It's really aggravating.
Why you just ain't come on the show tonight? You always welcome to come on the show, man.
Holly?
Go ahead, man.
Put Holly picture on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it for some reason that this is just again you're reaching a lot of points where you're saying that black folks gonna be all right because we forgiving. We've always been forgiving kind of people, you know.
Because they forgave the uncle at the barbecue that did it. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
it's systemic.
Got that in-house.
No, I'm saying it's very systemic.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like right now, how long ago was this happened with this video? How long ago was it?
It was 2014.
It
just came out.
It just got to where it's at this week for whatever reason, within the last week or so.
So when you really think about it, at that time, Tiffany had nothing.
Tiffany probably got $500 to do that, which is no excuse.
Yeah, and and if you really look at it, there were no real scenes.
Not with her
in those scenes.
Correct, but she's a part of it. That's where she falls victim. I mean, she's not a victim. That's what she falls liable for.
And that, but right then, her light bill was probably due.
I mean, her check engine light, everything was on right then and there.
Right, absolutely. But Holly, go ahead.
I was just saying, so she was trying to do what she could to pay her bills or whatever. And I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just trying to see it from a different side.
Okay, let me hit.
You know me.
Let me hit you from a side, okay, that I got 2 days ago, and I didn't want to. Jay and I don't talk about the show because when we talk about the show, we want it to be our conversation about what we're talking about. We don't be like going back and forth. Let me just say this. So, a lady asked me the other day. She said, "Don, white lady, I want to shout her out." Helen said, "Don, how prevalent is pedophilia in the black community?" This is what she asked me. She's like, wait. She's like, I never really, I know how bad it is over here.
As prominent as
going
to jail.
So let me just say this. So, and I know what she was talking about, right? This video. I know 100% what she was talking about. But listen to this for a moment, right? Black folk have been seeing this type of behavior and looking the other way for a very long time. And am I right? For a very long time, and this is nothing new to us.
It's conditioning,
and you got to understand. So the uproar that I'm seeing on social media are all people, right, under 40 for the most part, right, 30s, under 40, because there were pedophiles in every environment we grew up in, especially the church, right? One of the greatest pedophiles I ever known, who tried to touch my friend when we was 12 or 11, I can't remember, was James Cleveland. we was at Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church, and he could sing. He was a singer, and James Cleveland asked me to come back there. Yeah, I wanted to meet. James Cleveland was in town performing, and man, he's like, man, you ain't gonna believe what just happened to me, man. I said, come on, man, we need to leave, right? He tried to touch my friend.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're not the only two people that knew James Cleveland was a perv. Okay, or C.L. Franklin was a perv, right? But at what point do we say, okay, enough's enough?
That's the $1 million question.
Because we have seen this. Look, there are people, you go to family reunion and that uncle who was a perv, right? They don't say don't invite him. They say
he come back next. Don't go over there with him by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Where's he at? He over there with the kids. I'm just saying, so why is he in the first place?
Get him from over there, right? Get him from over there, right? Okay, why is he there in the first place, Holly?
Well, Don Miller, you really touching on something that's actually kind of close to me. I found out some things later on in my life about somebody in my family who was always around and everything. And I changed the way I looked at him and talked to him. Wouldn't let him be nowhere near my kids.
Right.
And was very vocal about it. And everybody in the family knew, just leave me alone and my kids, because I might snap and tear it all up, just mess up everything right now.
Was this person in the church? Was this person in the church?
Well, it wasn't something that was necessarily involved with us, but he was in a church and a leader in a church.
Wow.
But he was a relative of mine that did some things to my mother.
Wow. When
she was young.
Wow.
I didn't find out till, like I said, my mother had passed away, and then they told me the story. You know how the problem is, this goes back to slavery days.
Yeah, I was going to go that far back, but you know what excuses they use.
It goes back to in-house business.
Yeah.
Where people keep things in-house. They don't, that's our business, that's family business, blah, 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 blah. But that's where people have issues, because if you don't tell somebody, they're not informed enough to be able to stay away from it, or to prevent being in situations for these things to happen. And I understand that, as Black folks, we've had in-house business forever. We've always had.
But I think it actually, Holly, I've told my story on the show more than one time. It actually is a problem for us that we live and engage like this, right? And I get it. People want to talk about embarrassing the family. I've seen a lot of instances where embarrassing the family
get you fucked up.
Right? Yeah, right. You follow me? And so I think people are more concerned about embarrassing the family. And at the end of the day, I just believe strongly that we got to call people out, man. We got to take some time and say, you're wrong and you need to step away for a minute, right? And you're wrong, you need to step away. But because I'm not going to watch, first of all, I wouldn't watch any Tiffany. And for those who know us, Holly, we've been around the comedy circle, me and you, right? For a long ass time, right? Holly and I, Holly was a stand-up comedian, and we produced.
But you ain't help Aries Spears out, so you're not a good person.
Holly, so we know that circle, right?
Aries Spears
and let me just say something. Aries Spears is horrible. He's never anybody.
He's got beef with Orlando.
No, he does. He's never anybody we would have booked, right? We booked comedians for years, and he was never one. I didn't even know who the hell he was.
Does he really fit the bill as a comedian?
But most of them at that level are starving. Would you agree, Holly? So
absolutely.
Tiffany Haddish needs some money.
We're getting a bunch of calls.
Hey, Holly, we'll call Holly. Get off the phone because we can only got one line working right now. We hit you right back.
Awesome.
Hey, let's take this call. Hey, you're on the Don Miller Show.
Hi, Don Miller. This is Anita Spencer.
Hey, Anita Spencer. How are you?
I am fantastic. Looking at your show, looking at what you're talking about, and
Anita Spencer is somebody's mama. And she deep.
She sound like it.
She's somebody's mama and she deep.
She got a switch.
No, she's somebody's mama and she deep though. She deep. Take me there. I'm listening.
Okay, so here we go, right? So right now I just got finished working on a script about a year and a half ago, and they're actually shopping it in Los Angeles, so I don't want to give too much away. But it's about breeding farms, okay? And so what I want to say is this. We will kick out our gay son and daughter, but protect the molester.
Absolutely.
That's a problem.
That's a fact.
That's a problem. And then what we got to do when we look back on what has happened with us, and we look at all the breeding that took place amongst us, that's where where motherfucker came from. So when we start looking at those kinds of things, we got to say, what is happening within our community? The two largest breeding farms that they had in the 13 colonies was in West Virginia and in Baltimore, Maryland.
Absolutely.
Right now,
they still breeding in West
Virginia.
Go ahead.
Listen, and Baltimore, Maryland right now, Baltimore, Maryland is still the #1 city for incest in the country.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. The numbers are real.
It hasn't. It hasn't stopped.
Wow.
And so my thing with us is we got to stop protecting the family molester that they still invite to the barbecue and stuff like that. We got to start calling them people out. We got to start calling these pastors out and these gay ministers and the James Clevelands and the C.L. Franklins. Oh, yeah, we need to call them out.
Facts.
Because what you're doing is you're destroying our children. You're destroying our future.
And they perpetuating the cycle.
Exactly. And so when I see what Tiffany Haddish and Eric Spears did, very poor taste.
There's no excuse either way. There's no excuse they can give me.
No excuse.
Yeah.
No excuse. Very poor taste. There was nothing you got. There's no way you should have done any of that.
Correct.
Not with the kid. Now you got grown people. Y'all grown.
Do your thing.
We good.
Do your thing.
That's a kid.
That's a fact.
A kid in underwear. When I saw the footage,
it's crazy.
I said, Tiffany,
there's no excuse for it.
It's time for you to exactly
because she was in scenes with underwear. So
correct.
She wasn't in scenes with the baby oil, but she was in scenes with the underwear. Like, come on, man. That is
and what they're concerned
it's on the screen right now, and Jay turned his head because Jay don't want to see it, right? But let me just say,
it's gone.
But Anita, listen, you're right. You're 100%, and I'm so glad you called us, right? Because we are the problem in this conversation because we have historically protected the molester. We have shunned we shunned our sons who told us they were gay. We've shunned our daughters who were lesbian, but we never told on piece of shit Uncle Willie. And
right.
You know what I mean?
And see, let me tell you how it gets deeper. They got this new foundation that they've had out for at least maybe a decade now called Boy Man Love.
Absolutely.
Follow me now.
What?
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
they're getting ready to try to do is they want the LGBT community
100%.
to put them inside of their little group. But my thing is that because it's
That's
some
a double
men
entendre.
out there who feel like it's some men out there who think it's okay to mess with children. Yeah. A lot of the children that are in the people that are in the LGBT community are the way they are because of what has happened.
Hey, listen.
Wait.
Give me 1 second. I got one thing to say to y'all. One thing to say only. I advise y'all to play with something safe.
But let me just talk to you about, right? If you want to read about this, and I'm so glad you called. Oh, my God. I didn't want to call you last minute, but I know what you're doing. I know the work that you're doing. And it is so very important that we go read this stuff. The North American Man-Boy Love Association. And I need y'all to read this.
There you go.
They have a Wikipedia page. This is in my notes. I was telling Quetta Jean Johnson the other day
First time I heard
that
about it.
California is pushing legislation.
Why is that not surprising?
Okay? There's legislation being pushed in California to find it okay for a child and an adult to engage. Go look. I'm telling you, it's coming down the pipes. Would you agree, Anita? Go look. The legislation is right there.
It's coming down the pipe.
And the North American Man-Boy Love Association is real, right? My concern is right? My concern is this, right? They are driving the pedophilia narrative. And I'm telling you, it's being driven. It's being driven. It's right. At some point, listen to me. They are lobbying the LGBT community for them to add a P on the end. I'm telling you.
For pedophilia.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell y'all to play with something safe.
That's what they're fighting for right now. And see, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. You can't play with anything safe.
No, they cannot.
Grow up here in America.
If that little brown boy got a last name McCain, I suggest you go the other way because it's gonna go a different kind of way.
And I understand what you're saying, brother. But you know what? We got to start having some serious conversations with our children about who we are.
Yeah.
About who we are as black people so that they will understand the lane that they're in. Because, again, it's some people that they're after us from everything from our stem cells to our eggs.
Yeah, but that's yeah. No, you're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And all I'm saying is that when you start looking at these type of agendas that's being pushed, because they're not that. Because again, 10, 20 years ago, this agenda wasn't on the table.
No, that's listen. I ain't have no idea about it, to be honest. But the same token though, these are conversations. Period. You should be having in your household. Period. It shouldn't take that because right now I guarantee you, my wife got my kids watching some of this. You know what I'm saying? But these are conversations that you have to have in your household, period. It shouldn't take something like this for a conversation to be had.
You know, go ahead, Anita.
I was going to say, but because people are such followers, you got to understand that people wouldn't have even thought about Tiffany Haddish or said anything unless that boy hadn't put his mouth on Lizzo.
Right.
They wasn't even thinking about
that's
them
a
people.
fact.
And so
Absolutely.
Nobody, and that's how it is. Nobody was thinking about
they had
telling
that in
their
the
kids
tub.
about stuff.
No, they had that in the tub.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that part.
Exactly.
You know what?
And so that's what I'm saying.
Anita, I just want to tell the listeners, right? There's a current Senate bill in California. You can go figure it out and tell me what sense you make of it yourself. But what the bill actually does, it allows a judge to decide to list someone as a sexual offender for having oral or anal sex with a minor, right? And that should not be decided by a person.
It's not subjective.
That should be in the books, right? And the problem is this pedophilia narrative, okay? This man-boy love narrative has been coming slowly up the hill, right? And we caught it a few years ago. Then we heard about it. Of course, in that industry, man-boy love has been going on for many years, right? Especially in the rap game. man-boy love and some of the, you know, that's
But
a whole
you're
nother
seeing a whole
conversation.
homosexual
That's a whole nother
agenda that's being
conversation, right?
pushed, period.
So they're pushing a whole nother agenda. But the point I make is this: Ray, pay attention to your children, and I think we should get together, right, and push against those who push against us. For Tiffany Haddish to think this is okay, coming from a black family who knows, well, maybe she doesn't, but I'm going to hope she knows just how bad this already is in the structure of our family, right? Then shame on her, and she need to take a minute. Let me just say this, Anita, before we let you go. Tell your husband I said hi.
I will.
Is he on tour now?
He is. He is.
Oh, okay. I thought
they're
so.
wrapping up some stuff with BET, so he's been busy. But yeah.
All right, tell him I said, hey,
I'll tell him you said
know he's
hello.
one of my favorite people in the world. I'm going to tell y'all, she didn't want me to tell y'all this. Her husband is the leader of the 69 Boys, and we enjoyed their music for a very long time, and he's my
We
friend.
listened to that the other day.
We did, sitting at the
Cotton
table.
candy should go. Let me see that. This is roll.
Anita, thank you so much. Tell him I said, hey.
I will. I'll let him know. And he's actually with 95 South. So there it is.
He gave me the wrong.
just kidding.
See, listen to Don Miller. I got set up.
Okay.
Now I look crazy.
But let me just say this: 65 Boys, 95 South, 69 Boys.
It's all they're the same family.
That's the same family. I'm sorry. You're right. I know
Same
who he's
family.
with. But when I was hanging out with him, I was hanging out with the 69 Boys too. We all was together. Okay, so I apologize.
trying to clean it up. Don't let him clean it up.
We know about you, Don.
And they all from Duval. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
so
Yes,
much.
indeed.
Love you.
But thank you, Don. I appreciate you. I love you, and I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Again, see how I messed that up? That's the
you
that's
messed
the
that.
shoulder,
That's that
man.
shoulder. That's
I'm
that
crying on this
shoulder.
shoulder right now.
That's
I'm crying
that
on my
shoulder.
I'm
That's
crying
that
on my
shoulder.
own shoulder. Again, I just want to talk about this as we wrap up, right?
Yeah.
And to this lady, Miss Marshall, Trisha Marshall,
Yeah, that's her name.
who was probably
Trisha Morris.
Trisha Morris, right? Bad
Yeah.
comedian, bad mother, terrible parent, right? I just want to say she's out here trying to one more money grab. Hopefully she's thinking a court will hear her out this time and give her some of Tiffany and Aries' money, right? On behalf of her children that she exploited, right?
That's exactly what
And
happened.
I'm concerned that to the court, to the people in the district court and the people in the court who may see this case, can we hold her accountable for just a little bit of this? Can somebody raise their hand and say, ma'am, were you there, right? And at what point did you find this horribly egregious that made you want to throw up?
Yeah.
At what point did you get so angry that you wanted to kill the culprit, right? At what point did emotion come over you after knowing that this is something that you have to protect? This is a soul that you have to protect that came outside of your womb. At what point, bitch, did you say, oops, I should not have brought them over here, right? And I contend that this trick never did.
She never did.
Okay, I contend that this terrible parent never said, oops, I shouldn't have brought my kids over here. Stop, cut.
But let me ask you a question, right? I don't know a lot about that.
And this angers me.
No, this is
Oh.
so Todd sent me this. Todd Jenkins. I don't really like him. I gotta claim him. That's my brother. I gotta claim him.
I really
right?
messed up, man.
He sent me this video like on Monday or Tuesday, right? And he was like, this will be a good show. And I'm looking like, no, I don't want to go nowhere near it because this is super sensitive.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this isn't anything that you can talk about lightly. You know what I mean? Right. So at the end of the day, my question is, what due diligence did the parents do about what that child was going to be engaged in, script-wise, right? Mm-hmm. And when you read the script, when you got an understanding of what your child was going to be doing, somewhere in there you said, that's okay.
Right.
You had to.
You know, listen, you know, I didn't want to do the show either. And you and I didn't even talk about this show, Jay.
You called me today on.
Okay. and because I didn't want to do the show either, right? And the Johnson family, the entire Johnson family pushed me to do this show, right? You got to do this show. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
No.
And then up until like 11 o'clock, I'm not even doing this. This is crazy. And then I read it, right? And I read it again, and I was like, why ain't nobody in the joint?
No bullshit.
You know what I mean? Why ain't nobody in the joint right now, right? Why has there not been a
definitely
check
child
cut?
neglect.
Now
It's
that's just me seeing a little bit of the faded out video, right?
Yeah.
And then I come in here and I see the uncut version, and I say, why ain't nobody kill these two?
Because they ain't do it to the right people.
Right? Why ain't nobody shoot them? Right? Where's the parent that did attacked both of them? Right? And then they
I'm still
tell
sitting
me,
here, so you know what, my kid.
and then they say they asked for money first. Let me tell you about check chasers.
The ambulance chasers. It's the same difference.
Check chasers, man. Trisha
Big
Morris.
Trump.
Trisha Morris, she already in the suit. They like suing, and
She's a serial lawsuiter.
The point is this, guys. I don't.
City of Fontana.
Yeah. That's a discrimination, racial discrimination lawsuit. I didn't read the whole detail. The point is, right? Let me just say this. At what point, if this is true, if that photo of her at that Tiffany Haddish party is true,
Photoshop?
if that photo of her is true at the Tiffany Haddish party a couple of years ago, and now you're suing Tiffany Haddish, right? I just want Tiffany Haddish to tell us the truth about what kind of freaky shit y'all was on. Because why are you at this lady's party, right? And then you sue her 2 years later, right?
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that this is some kind of weird scenario that has gone awry. You follow me? And we got to
You saying it went from orgy to lawsuit?
I don't know what it went from, but them babies was the babies weren't at home alone. Okay, if your ragged ass parent is find it okay to drive you over there and drop you off, and you 7,
Yeah.
right? Now we know a lot of these. Come on, we know these R. Kelly parents drove them and dropped them, right? Okay, many of them.
You really think they dropped them off?
Many of them drove them and dropped them and stayed
I'm
too.
not talking about R. Kelly. I'm talking about this right here.
No, they drove them, dropped them, and stayed. They stayed.
Oh, okay.
You know the mama was there. If the mama wasn't there, then she's even a worse mother. But unless Tiffany Haddish befriended this mom to such an extent and said, girl, I'm going to take the kids over here and shoot a video. And she said, okay, Tiffany, y'all go with Auntie Tiffany. And they went with Auntie Tiffany, right? Auntie Tiffany had the perv Spears, okay, waiting at the house with the cameraman and the lighting guy and the sound guy, who also are absolutely a part of this, right? Because if you got a child and you kept filming, if you got a child and you kept holding the light, if you got a child and you scooted the microphone forward, you're a piece of shit too.
You know they got children.
But you're a piece of shit too. If you got a child and you scooted that microphone forward to get all the sound, right? If you have a child and you zoomed in on that little bear boy in the middle of the floor with his legs open, you're an absolute piece of shit.
That's exactly what
if you was a cameraman that zoomed in on that little boy with his legs open on the floor, you a piece of shit, right? Yeah.
No, that's Don, you know this.
You're complicit. Everybody in that house that thought this shit was okay is complicit. I don't care who it was, the mama, the cousin, the sister. You're complicit.
That's a fact. I said that.
And the cameraman, I put the cameraman.
The cameraman, whoever participated in writing the script, whoever held the light, whoever rented the house, whoever had any part in the making of this script is complicit.
Absolutely. No question about it. And Aries Spears, who we know ain't funny, so he ain't gonna lose nobody in the black community. Ain't no black people.
He ganked and lost nothing.
Right. Ain't nobody going in the black community. We don't know who the hell he is.
We know who the hell he is.
Right. Okay. But I want to say this about Tiffany Haddish, right? Who black people embrace, even though we know she ain't funny. We just glad
why? Because
to see
you know why?
No,
but she a sister, but she had a struggle story.
We got man.
No,
every good struggle story, right?
She had a struggle story. And she black, and she a sister. So
she ain't that funny. She ain't funny. She's not a hell of a. She don't blow your mind. She don't make you say, "Oh my God, I got to watch it again." Right? Not in anything she's ever done, but she's a sister with a struggle story. Let's run to the phone lines. Hey, you on the Don Miller Show?
Kathy from Memphis, Tennessee.
How you doing?
Be safe out there.
I'm doing wonderful. I agree with everything you guys are saying about the whole ordeal. But my main thing is they cannot defend themselves because they was dead wrong. They're going to have to apologize and pay whatever needs to be paid, because if you try to talk against it or try to say, hey, try to defend yourself, whatever they say is going to seem wrong. It don't matter what they're saying. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to correct it.
There's no apology that suffices.
You got absolutely. Thank you so much for your call. Listen, next Thursday, share this please Like it and subscribe it, please. We want to continue to build the audience. Next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, myself, Real Rap Kane. I want to shout out a couple of people. I want to shout out my cousin in Los Angeles who's a producer, Michaela. I love you so much, girl. And to Mike in L.A., who's a real super producer, and to Steve, and to all my friends, Jamel here. I love you, girl. And we are seriously focused about making this a better podcast. I wanted to hold on to live, which is what a lot of people are not doing, because I like to interact with the listeners. So thank you so much again. We'll be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, The Don Miller Show. Real Rap Kane over there, Brother Phil, the podcast doctor. So listen, follow us, The Don Miller Show, on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Subscribe and like. We'll see you next Thursday.
Real Rap with Kane, YouTube and Instagram.